are ready to install polyurethane spray foam insulation on our latest remodel. As you can see, construction is ready, electric is run. Now we need to air seal and insulate the walls before the drywaller comes in to finish the job. The homeowner wanted to make sure they did everything they could to increase the energy efficiency of their remodel, but they had a pretty tight budget. Luckily, we were able to help them out with the CPDS, the constant pressure dispensing system. The CPDS sprays Class 1 fire retardant polyurethane spray foam twice as fast as spray foam kits, which allows us to get in, do our job, and then be done. Let's take a look at what's all included with the CPDS Series 2. The CPDS unit comes fully equipped with enhanced features that improve performance, durability, and ease of use, such as a built-in thermostatically controlled heater for use in cold temperatures that also improves cold weather starting, a heavy-duty insulated cover that helps to maintain proper operating temperature while protecting the unit from overspray, thick gauge zippers on the front and back for easy access to the controls without compromising temperature, a heavy-duty pressure booster for increased reliability and longer operating life, hose hangers that comfortably hold up to 150 feet of chemical hose for easier handling and storage, built-in durable powder-coated metal toolbox with an automatic latching feature that keeps tools secure. Chemical-resistant labeling is durable and scratch-resistant to hold up under heavy usage. An extra set of air pressure hoses to reduce downtime if replacement is required. Heavy-duty ball-bearing rear wheels for easy maneuverability. Heavy-duty pressure fittings for ease of attachment and increased strength. 30 feet of durable chemical hoses with the ability to connect up to 150 feet. CPDS uses disposable chemical cylinders for convenient replacement and maximum product usage, and comes complete with 25 fan and 25 conical nozzles, 1 can of polyclean, and all necessary instructions. What's more, bright and easy to read startup and shutdown instructions are never far away. Now that we've shown you the features of the unit itself, let's talk about what you need to do before you start spraying. Since all touch and seal foam products are for professional use only, you should always follow proper health and safety guidelines. When dispensing touch and seal spray foam products, always wear protective clothing, such as a Tyvek suit, a NIOSH-approved air purifying respirator, chemical-resistant gloves, safety glasses, or goggles. Be sure to cover all exposed skin, including the head. Ensure the work area is adequately ventilated. Now we're fully protected. Setup is going to be quick and easy, but it is important that you follow these steps in the proper order. Position the CPDS on a level surface and lock the front casters to prevent accidental movement. Be sure that the CPDS control panel pressure supply is in the off position and that the electrical cord is unplugged. Remove the locking pins and open the front retention gate by placing 1 foot on the bottom frame and lifting the retention gate with both hands. Place the A cylinder in the left position and the B cylinder in the right position, with the labels positioned upright and facing out the front of the unit. Reinstall the retention gate and replace the locking pins. Pressure hoses are pre-attached to the CPDS unit. You will now attach their free ends to the valves on the top of the chemical cylinders. Tighten all connections with a wrench, making sure not to over-tighten. Double check that the retention gate is secured and the toolbox is latched. Carefully tilt the CPDS on its back to access the bottom of the chemical cylinders. Remove the chemical hose set from its package and turn the cylinder to hose valves to the off position. Connect the A hose to the cylinder valve at the bottom of the red A cylinder. Connect the other B hose to the bottom valve of the gray B cylinder. After you've tightened the connections with a wrench, feed the chemical hoses through the hose strain relief device. If properly installed, pulling the chemical hoses will not move the chemical cylinder. Now that we have the hoses all hooked up and the connections secure, it's time to open the valves. First, engage the safety latch on the foam applicator, keeping the hose to applicator valves closed perpendicular. Since we still have the unit on its back, we're going to open the yellow bottom cylinder valves of both chemical cylinders, turning counterclockwise. Next, open the cylinder to hose valves until the handles are parallel to the chemical hoses. Carefully lift the CPDS into an upright position. Moving to the top of the cylinder, Open the valves at the top of the A and B cylinders. Inspect all connections for leaks and tighten as needed. Loop the chemical hose set around the hose storage hooks, release the CPDS front wheel locks, and move the CPDS to a convenient location that will not obstruct your job. Move to spray location, unwind your chemical hoses, and prepare for spraying. We can now power up the compressor to a dedicated single-phase 120-volt electrical supply. Use a minimum 12-gauge grounded 3-prong extension cord up to 50 feet long. Longer extension cords will require heavier gauge cord. Turn the compressor switch to on and allow the compressor to cycle until it stops running, usually less than 1 minute. This indicates that the proper starting pressure has been reached. The air compressor is preset and pre-tested at the factory, so no adjustments should be necessary. On the CPDS control panel, turn the pressure supply switch to the on position and adjust the pressure control knob to obtain the desired operating pressure of 150 to 200 psi. Now we can open the hose to applicator valves. Verify that all connections are tight and that no chemical leaks are present. Tighten any leaking connections and clean the connection with touch and seal polyclean to prevent undesired chemical buildup. Before continuing with setup procedures, make sure you're wearing protective clothing, such as a Tyvek suit, a NIOSH-approved air purifying respirator, chemical-resistant gloves, safety glasses, or goggles. Be sure to cover all exposed skin, including the head. Ensure the work area is adequately ventilated. Proper operating temperature is critical to product performance, so be sure that the chemical temperature in cylinders and hoses is between 70 and 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Purge air from the chemical hoses by moving the foam applicator safety to the off position. Remove the nozzle, if any, and while aiming the foam applicator into a waste receptacle, spray until 2 roughly equal chemical streams exit the foam applicator barrel. This may take 5 to 15 seconds depending upon the length of the chemical hose set. Engage the foam applicator safety and clean any chemical from the front of the foam applicator barrel by wiping with a clean rag. Place an unused conical or fan nozzle on the barrel of the foam applicator. The touch and seal constant pressure dispensing system is now ready for operation. If at any time during dispensing foam quality is suspect, first replace the used nozzle with a clean, unused nozzle. If nozzle replacement does not solve the problem, refer to checking the spray foam applicator in the troubleshooting section. If spraying has stopped for more than 30 seconds, foam in the nozzle will begin to cure and clog, compromising the system performance. Replace the used nozzle. Keep in mind that higher temperatures speed curing, while lower temperatures slow curing. To replace a nozzle, engage the safety on the foam applicator. Grasp the nozzle, twist counterclockwise, and remove from the barrel. Place an unused nozzle on the barrel of the foam applicator, push, and twist the nozzle clockwise until firmly locked into place. The spray foam applicator meters chemical flow, providing greater control and minimizing waste when used properly. The following instructions ensure maximum efficiency and performance of the spray foam applicator. For the first pass, apply 1/4 of an inch of wet chemical spray. This application will expand to a thickness of about 1/2 inch. For additional layers, apply 1/2 inch of wet chemical spray at a time until you reach desired thickness. Each 1/2 inch application will expand to a 1 inch layer of cured foam. Allow foam to cool between application layers to obtain maximum expansion. If foam layers are applied too thick, you will not receive the maximum expansion and coverage the product is designed to achieve. Engage the safety on the foam applicator. Clean any chemical from the front of the foam applicator barrel by spraying with touch and seal polyclean and wipe with a clean rag. Reattach the used nozzle. This will provide an airtight seal during storage. For the best results, turn off all valves, starting at the spray foam applicator and working along the chemical delivery hoses back to the CPDS unit. 2 on-off ball valves, hose to applicator, 2 on-off ball valves, cylinder to hose, 2 yellow valves on top of the chemical cylinders. Turn off the pressure supply switch, then turn off and unplug the air compressor. Ensuring that the retention gate is secured and the toolbox latched, carefully tilt the CPDS back to access the bottom of the cylinders. Close the yellow valves on the bottom of each chemical cylinder. Carefully lift the CPDS into an upright position. Loop the chemical hose set around the hose storage hooks. Store the CPDS, equipment, and chemical cylinders in a warm, dry area between 60 and 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Do not store at temperatures above 120 degrees Fahrenheit near steam, open flames, sparks, hot water pipes, chimneys, or heat vents. Operate or purge the CPDS system at least once every 2 weeks by dispensing product until chemicals flow forcefully. This will help prevent clogging of the chemical hoses and the spray foam applicator, as well as clear old product from the hoses. Follow instructions in the system shutdown and storage sections of this guide. Unopened chemical cylinders have a shelf life of approximately 1 year. If the temperature is below 50 degrees Fahrenheit, you may experience slow or no compressor startup. This is normal. Keep the CPDS chemical cylinders and hoses warm between 70 and 90 degrees Fahrenheit until immediately prior to use. This can be accomplished by keeping the CPDS chemical hoses and chemical cylinders in a warm room or by using the built-in heater in conjunction with the CPDS cover. Use the built-in heater and cover for short-term or overnight storage and to ensure proper operating temperatures immediately prior to job site use. It is not necessary to use the heater while spraying foam, as heat from the compressor will provide sufficient warmth when used in conjunction with the zipped CPDS cover. Don't forget to keep the chemicals protected from low temperatures during setup, spraying, and during breaks. In cold weather, keep chemical hoses warm and insulated from ambient temperatures and cold substrates. Go to touchandseal.com for more information on accessories to keep your chemicals and hoses at the proper operating temperature. Refer to the troubleshooting guide for further startup guidelines. Chemical cylinders should empty at approximately the same time. However, it is normal for a small amount of chemical to be left in one or both cylinders. Engage the safety on the foam applicator. Clean any chemical from the front of the foam applicator barrel by spraying with Touch and Seal Polyclean and wiping with a clean rag. Reattach the used nozzle to provide an airtight seal around the applicator during storage. For the best results, turn off all valves in the following order, starting at the spray foam applicator and working along the chemical delivery hoses back to the CPDS unit. 2 on-off ball valves, hose to applicator, 2 on-off ball valves, cylinder to hose, 2 yellow valves on top of the chemical cylinders. After you've already shut down all valves, turn off the pressure supply switch, then turn off and unplug the air compressor. Remove both air pressure hoses first, slowly releasing any existing air pressure. Double check that the retention gate is secured and the toolbox is latched, and carefully tilt the CPDS unit back to access the bottom of the chemical cylinders. Close the yellow chemical valves on the bottom of the chemical cylinders. Remove the chemical hoses from the strain relief fixture. While holding a rag or absorbent towel directly underneath, slowly remove each of the cylinder to hose on-off ball valves. A small amount of chemical will drip from the cylinder chemical valves. Remove all residues and clean the fittings with Touch and Seal Polyclean and a clean rag. Keep all exposed ends of chemical cylinder valves and chemical hose fittings clean by flushing with Polyclean and allowing the residue to drain. Carefully lift the CPDS back into an upright position. Remove locking pins and retention gate. Remove each empty cylinder. Empty cylinders may contain a small amount of residual chemical and pressure. The cylinders must be relieved of both. In a well-ventilated area, set a cylinder on a level surface. With the top cylinder valve facing away from you, slowly open the top cylinder valve. Allow the cylinder to depressurize for 15 minutes. Where required by law, puncture the pressure relief valve and dispose of chemicals according to instructions in the MSDS. Dispose of empty cylinders according to local, state, and/or federal requirements. Steel cylinders may be recyclable. Check your local recycling center. It is important to remove accumulated condensation from the air compressor and the water separator. The air compressor and the water separator both have drains. The manually operated water separator should be checked daily and emptied as needed. The air compressor tank should be drained weekly for proper equipment operation. For additional information, refer to the operation manual provided in the CPDS toolbox. Some area building codes may restrict the use of cellular plastics or polyurethane foam as exposed finished material applications. Under certain application building codes, the use of these materials may be prohibited. The foam produced by this product is organic and may constitute a fire hazard if improperly applied. Refer to your local building codes. Polyurethane foam should not be used in direct contact with chimneys, heat vents, steam pipes, or other surface areas that exceed 250 degrees Fahrenheit. Refer to your local building codes regarding required facings and coatings. Do not operate the system while smoking or in close proximity to an open flame. Welding on or near cured polyurethane foam requires special precautions. Do not apply foam in layers exceeding 1 inch of cured thickness. A 1/2 inch wet layer will produce a 1 inch cured foam layer. For a total cured foam thickness greater than 1 inch, dispense foam in multiple layers. Allow foam to cool between application layers to obtain maximum expansion. If foam layers are applied too thick, you will not receive the maximum expansion and coverage the product is designed to achieve. Chemical cylinders must be disposed of as ordinary industrial waste in compliance with pertinent regulations. Sanitary landfill is recommended. Chemical waste should be neutralized and can be disposed of as ordinary waste. Dispose of leftover material and containers in accordance with all federal, state, and local regulations. See MSDS for chemical spill instructions. Always use proper personal protection equipment when handling spray foam chemicals, equipment, or applying foam. Do not expose others in the immediate working environment while applying spray foam. Touch and Seal spray polyurethane foams are made in the USA, and they're available through a worldwide distribution network. Convenience Products, the manufacturer of Touch and Seal, takes pride in providing the highest level of customer service. If you have additional questions or would like to schedule a demonstration of the CPDS Series 2, please contact your Convenience Products sales representative or call customer service at 800-325-6180.